Hello. I have been asked sometimes now what I thought of the Season 4 trailer. So instead of answering that every time, I decided I could make a video about it that people could watch every time they ask that question. So, let me start by saying that Tekken 7 did something, or rather, a bunch of somethings, that made the game successful. You can't come up to Namco and say, your game is bad, because the game is selling still, and more people are coming in. More players are coming in, so it's beneficial for the people who play it, because there's more competition, there's more people in the communities. The prize pools will be bigger if, the tournaments keep getting bigger and you're a competitive player. And if you're a content creator, because people watch, and more people are watching, it's also beneficial to you. And it's beneficial to the company, because, more people are buying the game, spending more money on it. So, when you look at it that way, there's really nothing wrong with the game. And it's fun if you play among friends. As I've stated many times before, I do have a problem with it, competitively. Many problems with it. But nevertheless, what's important is that those somethings that they did to the game, if those somethings make the product successful, then they should keep doing them until it no longer is. You should apply the same principle if you're a fighting game player and you wish to improve. You do what works until it no longer works, and then you have to find a way to reinvent your playstyle. So in Season 4, we've got a bit of what they want to do with the game, which is continue being Game 7. We've seen Paul with a new shoulder power crush, because having two evasive shoulders wasn't already enough, and also a safe power crush that's high. So now he has another power crush. Hwarang has a new launcher. Julia has a new knockdown homing move, which is a high. It probably launches too with that. What is it? That new pickup she has, that's like a kick with it. Whatever. I think it's up 4 3+4. That's the move. Every character gets new moves. It's more moves, more launchers, more mix-ups, more plus frames. And also a new character, which might be a returning one. Now, so you can't escape that. It's going to be more launchers, more mix-ups. It's more in Game 7. More what makes Tekken 7 Tekken 7. More broken moves, more cheap things. I think it might be some sort of devious plan to feed off of Tekken's previous reputation, which is that of a game that is very complex and difficult to play, but ultimately, if you organize yourself and you discipline yourself enough, spend enough time with it, you will be greatly rewarded. That still applies, but in a different way. So you've got Tekken with that reputation, and more people coming in, hearing about Tekken, it's so difficult to play. But everybody now can just... you've heard me say it 1,000 times before, but it plays into our expectations. My expectations, not ours. My expectations for Season 4. But let me just explain this part. So you've got new players coming in, with the game which is in the state of what it is. It's doing launchers and mix-ups and pressure and plus frames. They memorize a bunch of flowcharts, and they can mash it out and do panic moves all the time that don't have as much risk as normally they would have. And they start beating a bunch of other good players as well, and they start feeling good about themselves, or they start getting a high rank. Whereas older players kind of don't like the game, but there's not much that they can say about it because look, the game's getting bigger, so they'll keep playing it. In Tekken, you try to circumvent situations of guessing and mix-ups by using the game's mechanics. In Tekken 7, you try to circumvent using the game's mechanics by doing launchers and mix-ups and guessing situations. It's backwards. It's the other way around. And when you are so often placed in these situations of guessing, I don't think the game turns itself. I don't think the game is very competitive because it's kind of like gambling. You know what I mean? Whereas what made you solid in previous games was, having all those defensive options in check to prevent falling into these situations where the outcome might be random. And also the people that are joining in, they don't want to be left out. So when people tell them, it's a hard game, they're like, yeah, it's a hard game, man. You just, in this situation, you're minus 14. You can just punish with that. Of course, if you want to get to that minus 14 situation, you have to guess if you're going to get hit by the plus frames low or the launcher. Or the plus frames move, by the way. Or the other move that's safe and homing in mid and has infinite range. So they don't take it into account, that part. But they don't want to sound like they don't sound like they know about the game. So yeah, it's a very difficult game, complex, but if you have good defense and movement, which no longer works, you can be good at it. The game's not going to be any different in Season 4. They're not going to fix any problems because there are no problems to fix. You might say, well, but Falcom needs adjustments. It's Season 4 already, and I would have to be gullible to think that they would fix anything in its essence. Because all they do is change around move properties and numbers. They don't take away utilities. So, for example, for Leroy, you saw that he lost a bunch of frames and launching states. He's down 1+2. Is now it's now minus on block instead of being 0, and it no longer launches on counter hit. It only gives a guaranteed follow up. The 10 frame counter hit jab string no longer wall splats. But he still gets a guaranteed follow-up. But he still has down 3-4, he still has down 2, he still has down back 4. They don't take away moves from the characters that create the character playstyle. They only change around a bunch of frames. You still have to guess plenty. You still have to play the way the character was designed. So if they don't take away utility, if they only mess around with frames, it's basically the same game. With Falcom Ram, expect the same. You're still going to be hit by Jet Kick, even if it's now -8 instead of plus a million. You're still going to be hit by 3+4. You're still going to be hit by 3 strings, by strings that come from standing 3, regardless if they're very minus or if there's a bigger gap between strings or not. The moves are still there. So who might the new character be? Well, it's likely to be Kunimitsu. But if I remember correctly, in Tag 2, nobody played that character. Oh, wait a minute. Actually, I did. And I made videos trying to learn that character. I played that character for 5 years. But, see, I do like the character a lot. But I didn't mind Kunimitsu not being in Tekken 7. Because the game is already full. There's already too much to remember. So, with Kunimitsu, what might happen is she either stays in Tag 2, as in her moveset comes out, and she's bad and nobody plays her again. Or maybe people play her like Armor King for some reason, even the character is bad. Alright, that's because online you can do down back 3 and Gigant Swing and Hop Kick and Capital Punishment online. So either that happens, or because she's DLC and she's paid, she comes out busted. So that's another problem to fix. Well, it's a new DLC character, so of course we want people to play her. Let's make it broken. Or something along those lines. And then nerf her. But since she's a returning character, most likely, it's going to be like Armor King, where he's not that great. You could say the same for, say, so Armor King and Lei, they weren't very special when they came out. But Julia, Marduk, and say Ganryu, they're pretty good. It depends what they want to do with her. In Tag 2, she was decent. She wasn't anything special. They might just keep her decent. A reasonable character in a game full of broken things. We will also be receiving a new update for the characters in terms of balance for Season 4, or the Season 4 update. Now, people do enjoy talking a lot about balance. What characters need to be balanced? What characters need to be buffed? What characters need to be nerfed? Cypher, what do you think about the balance? What characters should be buffed or nerfed? If the game is going to continue being the game that it is, then I say, buff the characters that I play and that I like, the characters that I will be using at tournaments. Buff my characters. Buff Noctish, buff Claudio, buff Geese, buff Deviljin. What characters need to be nerfed? Any character that is a competition to me. So, nerf every other character. The game is going to continue being a mess. It should be within my interest, if I'm going to keep playing it, to keep playing a strong character, or strong characters. So I want my characters, the ones that I like, to be strong. Does it make much of a difference if this season Falcon Ram is broken? The other season, Leroy is broken. Season 2, Jin is the best character. But actually, it isn't. It doesn't matter. I was giving an example. If each season is going to have a few assortment of characters that are the best, for the simple reason of no reason, then have my characters be the protagonists of Season 4. That would make the best season. Okay. To summarize everything pretty much, Tekken 7 is a huge playground for the developers because both the casual players and the competitive players will keep playing the game. Okay, I think that's about enough of rambling from me. Until next one.